Excuse me, Lindon. Do you mind if I ask you a bit of an odd question?
Ask away, Saphir.
Well, actually, never mind. Forget I said anything.
You seemed quite solemn about it. Whatever it was, there was pain there as well, as though something weighs heavily on your heart. I think you should go ahead and come out with it.
Okay. About 30 years ago, you'd already begun your career as a soldier of Elusia, right?
Indeed, I had. I joined as a royal soldier almost immediately upon graduating Elusia's National Academy.
You must have taken part in campaigns against Brodia around that time then.
Yes. Yes, I did.
If I were to name a town or a village in Brodia, would you remember if... No, this is inappropriate. I shouldn't be asking.
Saphir,
I'm sorry to bother you. I hope I didn't offend.
Well now, this bears some looking into. Saphir, may I speak to you for a moment?
Of course, Lindon. What is it?
Your guess that I was an Elusian soldier about 30 years ago was correct. That said, my tour of duty never brought me to any rural fishing villages.
You looked into this. Into where I'm from.
Indeed.
All right, I'll say it. Elusia attacked my home village 30 years ago. A lot of folks were killed. My parents included. It's not that I'm on a revenge quest or anything. I haven't been searching for their killers. But if you were a soldier in Elusia at that time, I couldn't help but wonder.
No, your suspicions are only natural. I would wonder the same thing in your shoes.
I still shouldn't have asked. We're on the same side now. There's no need to dig this up.
If you want to hate me, Saphir, you have the right. Even if you wanted me dead, I'd allow it if it would ease your pain.
What? Why would you say that?
Because I mean it. I may not have done any harm to your parents personally, but I was a soldier in that war. I can easily see a world in which it was I who ended your parents' lives. I am a man long past his prime. I'd happily go to my end if it would bring you relief. And although words can change nothing now, I do apologize. I am truly, profoundly sorry.
I can't do this. Excuse me.
Oh dear.
Now that is how you fillet a fish.
I must say, you handle the fillet knife splendidly.
Lindon.
It's quite something to see such a large fish gutted and cleaned in a matter of moments.
No, not really. Any kid growing up near the water can do the same by about 7.
I see. Saphir, about our last conversation.
Anyway, you've got perfect timing. I was just about to sear this fish. Want to lend me your magic touch? Come on, do the honors.
I would be glad to, but...
Our earlier conversations weighing on you.
I'm afraid so. I cannot deny that I took part in the war that cost your parents their lives. I would understand completely if you held a grudge against me.
With all due respect, Lindon, drop this before I lose my cool.
I'm sorry?
My problem isn't with you. It's with the war. If I held grudges against everyone involved, it'd never end. I've seen enough to understand that.
I suppose, but...
I mean it. You're not doing me any favors taking on that burden.
You're right. I see now that I was being entirely foolish.
Not entirely. You've shown you care. That means something. Now, are you gonna sear this fish for me or what? We've got hungry folks waiting.
Then there's no time to waste. No more apologies. I've got bigger fish to fry.
Saphir. I heard you're good with fish. Is that true?
Yep, you heard right. Been fishing ever since my dad first took me out on the water. Been cooking them about as long. If it's got gills or flippers or tentacles, I can cook it to your preference.
I see. Even uncommon ingredients like squid or octopus are within your purview then.
They sure are. I once caught this massive thing, a real whopper. Don't even know what it was, but that didn't stop us from cutting it up and making a huge feast for the whole village.
That is quite a story. You must be exceptionally skilled. That is why I must destroy you utterly.
Whoa, hey! Why the hostility?
I'm sorry, Saphir, but there is only room for one perfect chef here. I challenge you to a singular contest of culinary skill.
You mean like a cook-off?
That's right. We'll showcase our talents and let others decide which of us is superior.
Sure. I guess this might as well happen.
Good. I will tell you when and where as soon as it is decided. Be ready to cook some seafood. And look forward to being ground into dust and used for seasoning.
Here we are. Ready to cook some fish?
Well, not exactly.
Hey, what's wrong? I thought you were gonna grind me to dust.
Ashamed as I am to admit it. I wasn't able to get my hands on any decent fish.
No? That's a shame. Look what I caught. As rare a specimen as you'll find in these parts.
The competition hasn't even started and I've already lost.
Not at all. Look, I caught one for you too.
Why would you do that?
Wouldn't be fair otherwise. It's a cook-off, not a fishing contest.
That's true. Thank you, Saphir. This is a noble gesture. I'm humbled by your kindness, but as much as I want to win this competition, I can't let you outshine me in nobility either. So, please take this.
What have we got here?
Rare herbs. They were hard to come by, but it would be poor form not to share them now.
You weren't kidding. These are tough to find. Thanks, Goldmary. You're all right. Now, let's get cooking. May the best chef win.
Agreed. You're going down. The cook-off was a delight, Saphir. I'm actually proud to say we were evenly matched.
Yeah, it was great. Can't complain about a tie with a skilled chef like you. Tight as the competition was, though. That wasn't the best part. That honor goes to all the smiling faces we got to feed.
I have to agree. The crowd seemed to be so worn down before we got started. But by the time we were finished, they were completely revitalized.
Yeah, we did a good thing.
I have to say, Saphir, the way you handled our contest truly moved me.
How so?
The only reason I was able to cook at all was because you shared your catch with me. If not for your generosity, I would have been a laughingstock. And even though you could have humiliated me, you didn't say another word about it.
Are you kidding? I could say the same thing about you, you know.
I don't see how.
Those herbs of yours were a key ingredient in my dish. I couldn't have made it without them. And you didn't say another word about that, did you? What's so funny?
It's just very unlike me to refrain from saying something. Normally, I'm the sort of person who would take credit for those herbs. But in this situation, well, I guess you could say I was inspired by your good deed.
That's really touching.
I'd love it if we could do this again. I don't mean as a competition. Let's just cook up another feast for people.
Sounds great. We should branch out from seafood next time, too. I'll be in unfamiliar territory, though, so you'll have to give me a few pointers.
I'll be happy to teach you a few tricks. Maybe then you'll be able to say I inspired you as well.
Phew! Another glorious sweat. That smells how you know the training's done. Right. Next, a bath, then chow.
Saphir, pardon me, but we simply must do something about that vulgar tongue of yours.
Hey, Panette. What's all that now?
Though we hail from different countries, we are both employed in the service of royals. In our position, one must act and speak unimpeachably at all times.
Unimpeachably, huh? Well, I've talked this way my whole life. Feels like I'd remember it being a problem.
Oh, but don't you see? A knight's bearing speaks to the bearing of her nation. If she makes even the smallest misstep, it may linger as a national mark of shame.
Is that right? So you're saying if I act how I please, folks will get the wrong idea about my whole kingdom?
Precisely so. I am glad you appreciate the gravity of the situation. But never fear, dearest Saphir. I shall give you a master class in proper speech and manners.
Okay. Is that good?
Indeed. I will begin planning. Prepare to learn like your life depends on it.
How much longer do I gotta do this kneeling crap?
Language. Try again.
At what length did my lady say I'm to continue this kneeling crap?
Only 1 hour longer. Any courtier worth her salt must be able to kneel for at least that time.
An hour? An hour, you say? Indeed? That's fine. Only my back's on fire now. Legs went numb ages ago. Forget it! I'm done! Only combat's allowed to be this exhausting. Sorry, but I'm gonna call it here. This stuff isn't for me. My kingdom will have to make do with my strength. They're not getting manners.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. If it tests your endurance, then it must be useful training, no? Here I thought you were made of sterner stuff.
Come on.
The Saphir I know would never throw in the towel midway through training. Perhaps I had you mixed up with another, more tenacious gray-haired beauty. My mistake.
Oh, fine! You made your point. I'll keep going. No way am I gonna quit after you bring training into it like that.
Good. I would expect nothing less.
Let it never be said that I didn't fight to the bitter end. I'm gonna get so prim and proper so fast it's gonna make your head spin.
Astounding! 2 entire hours of kneeling. Easily your personal best.
Is that so? For one such as myself, this interval of kneeling is hardly an exertion at all.
Your speech, too, is flawless. I never expected you to make so much progress in so little time. Impressive work, Saphir. I count myself quite proud indeed.
You are gracious to bestow upon me such lavish praise. I am truly flattered and glad to have figured all that stuff out so I can finally go back to talking like normal.
What? But why? We have hardly scratched the surface.
Listen, I get that manners are important now, but I only needed a handle on the basics. Now that I've got it, I can focus on serving my kingdom in the way I'm best suited.
I suppose that makes a kind of sense.
You've taught me something valuable. Trust me, I'm not gonna throw it away. I'll make an even better knight now that I know how not to be an embarrassment.
Well, it seems my lofty estimation of you was exactly on point. Perhaps I ought to follow your example. You know, spend more time training my body.
I'd be happy to give you a few pointers, if you're interested. Fair's fair.
Oh, truly? Imagine my manners combined with a well-knit physique like yours. I would be flawless. All right, Saphir, you have yourself a bargain.
Wondrous, milady. Do be certain to prepare yourself well, however. We're gonna go hard.
Why, of course. I will become so strong that even you kneel at my feet, so to speak.
All right, that's 10 of you. Who's next?
Very impressive, Saphir.
Prince Diamond. Didn't realize you were watching.
Checking in on our soldiers is part of my job.
Don't worry about me. I'm in prime condition. Built for battle. Ready anytime.
I've seen enough to know that's not talk. I'm sure you can handle just about anything. Like, say, a sudden sparring match. Got time for a quick round?
Sir, I couldn't possibly.
Oh, sure you could. Don't tell me you're not up for it.
I have a long way to go before I'll feel ready to take you on. When I'm truly satisfied, it'd be a privilege to spar with you.
I see. And when do you think that will be?
When I finally get past my hatred.
What do you mean?
The war with Alear has been too bloody. I haven't been able to wipe away the stain on my memory. I want to put it behind me, but I need to be stronger than I am right now to do it.
I see. Sorry, Saphir. I didn't mean to dredge up painful memories like that.
Not at all. I'm honored by your invitation, and sorry to decline it.
Saphir, any chance I can talk you into that sparring match today?
My stance hasn't changed, Prince Diamond. I don't feel ready.
Even if you don't think you're ready, I'd still like to test your current skills.
If you insist, it'd be rude to turn you away. But if I win, will you hear me out on something?
If you'd rather just chat, we don't need to spar.
I don't want to discuss this unless I win. It wouldn't feel right.
Interesting. It's a deal then. You actually beat me. I knew you were strong, but I clearly underestimated you. All right, a deal is a deal. What did you want to talk about?
Right. Okay. When I was a child, Alear attacked and destroyed my home village. I survived basically by luck. My parents, my friends, they were all killed. There was nothing I could do. I was powerless. That feeling haunts me to this day. It makes me want to scream and tear my heart out.
I felt a similar kind of pain myself.
That pain is why I train the way I do. Only strength can free me from it.
It's royals like me who declare wars, but the citizens and soldiers are the ones who suffer. Your training may keep innocent Brodians safe someday. That's the greater meaning behind it.
Thank you, Prince Diamant. It does feel good to get that off my chest. I'm going to overcome this weakness, no matter what it takes. Prince Diamant, did you need something from me?
I noticed some hesitation in your last few training sessions.
I know more strength is what I need, but at the same time, I'm starting to scare myself. I'm worried about becoming someone who only exists to hurt people.
Wars leave scars that last forever. They hurt everyone involved on all sides of any conflict. I often feel lost, just like you. But I always come back to two things. One, I can't run away. Two, I don't fight to win. I fight to end the fighting. As soldiers, that's all we can do.
I don't know if I have that in me.
I'm so sorry, but we have to. That's the only way to change a world driven by conflict.
I'll do my best. With your help, Prince Diamant, maybe I can find a way to do as you ask.
That's precisely why we train together, to grow stronger in our bodies and our bonds. After all this talk of fighting, do you feel up to another sparring match?
That's all we can do, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
Okay, but no holding back this time.
You think I was holding back? I never hold back.
Whatever you say. In that case, though, you better dig deep.
Now I'm fired up. Bring it on, soldier.
All right, great hunting today. Well done. Couldn't have brought in nearly this much if not for you, Prince Alchrist. Thanks for coming.
Oh, but I barely helped. This is mostly your handiwork, Saphir.
Humble as ever, I see. Now that we're good on meat for a while, I think it's going to be fishing next time. Care to join me?
Me? I don't have much experience with fishing.
You'll be fine. I'll show you how it's done.
I'd feel bad for the fish. Imagine getting yanked out of the water by someone as useless as me.
Pretty sure the last thing a fish cares about is who's doing the catching. You'll be fine.
I also doubt I'll catch anything. Any bait I offer is bound to be inferior, not worth a nibble.
Nonsense. Stick with me and I promise you'll get plenty. But the real fun comes when I show you how to cook them.
You'll teach me how to cook fish? Really? In that case, perhaps I will give it a try.
That's what I like to hear. Consider yourself invited next time I head out.
Yes, please. Thank you, Saphir.
Turns out you're quite the fisherman, Prince Alchrist. This is a huge haul.
I must admit, I'm surprised myself.
It's your quiet disposition. Those fish never saw you coming.
Do you think we have enough fish to prepare a full meal?
Definitely. This'll do nicely. Trust me.
That's exciting. I can't wait to learn. We'll get started as soon as we return, right, Saphir?
Of course. So, are you gonna tell me who you're so excited to cook for or what?
Was it that obvious?
I notice you get most excited when you've got someone else in mind.
Well, it's for my mother. I want to prepare something special for her once this war ends. And fish is her favorite food.
Huh.
When we heard of the Fell Dragon's return, she moved to a secure palace far from the throne. It feels like it's been so long. I want to treat her to something special when we're reunited. It's the least I can do. I'm sure she's already learned about Father.
Well, Prince Alchrist, you can count on me. I'll teach you everything I know about making fish taste wonderful. We'll start with how to fillet and sear, and then move on to seasoning and preservation. Gotta warn you ahead of time, though. When it comes to cooking, I'm a strict instructor.
Uh-oh. I'll be sure to brace myself. Thank you for teaching me to cook, Saphir. Under your guidance, I managed to prepare a complete fish dinner. When it's safe for Mother to return, I'll be able to welcome her back with a home-cooked meal.
My pleasure, really. I'm happy to pass on all the lessons my parents taught me. And I think they'd have loved to know their knowledge would benefit their prince someday. Come to think of it, I wish I could tell them about the time I got to cook for King Morian, too.
Did you? If he were still with us, I'm sure he'd help himself to several platefuls.
Sorry to bring up a sore subject.
It's all right. I can tell it's a fond memory. I'm happy that there are stories I've never heard from people who knew him. Saphir? What's the matter?
It hurts me too, losing him. When I stayed behind at Brodia Castle, I took it for granted he'd be back. Now every so often it hits me that I'll never see his face again. Best I can do is hold tight to the memory.
I know exactly what you mean.
I'm sorry, Prince Alchrist. I know my sorrow is nothing compared to what you and Prince Diamant must feel.
Sorrow isn't something that should be measured or compared. I know you shared a special bond with my father as a royal soldier of Brodia. It's important that we all take time to grieve. I know I am. And I hope you will too.
Kind words.
We should prepare a plate for Father someday. We've yet to erect a headstone, but I'm sure he'd appreciate a hearty meal left at his final resting place. He did love to eat, after all.
Great idea. Yeah, let's do it. Let's leave him a feast fit for a king. Thanks, Prince Alchrist. I feel better already.
Nothing like a bit of knitting to properly relax.
Oh, Vander. Didn't expect to see you doing some, needlework.
Oh, Saphir, not so loud, please. This is a delicate project. I am likely to bungle it if you startle me.
Right. Sorry. Guess I was just surprised to see you knitting of all things. Hobby of yours?
Yes? And how is it surprising? Do you lack any hobbies of your own?
I'm a simple knight through and through. Combat training is all I need.
Always more to learn there. But this skill can be useful on the battlefield as well.
Yeah? How do you figure?
Knitting demands that you learn movements requiring finesse, mastering them by repetition. Taking shortcuts also leads to sloppy results. The same could be said of the skills we train for combat, wouldn't you say?
Okay, I see what you're getting at. And you might have a point there.
Are you interested in learning the craft, then?
Why not? Sure.
Excellent. I will be happy to teach you what I know. I think you will find it most fulfilling. You dropped a stitch, Saphir.
Yeah, of course I did. Stupid tiny loops can't sit still for half a second.
Easy now. Slow down, or you will find yourself with a tangled mess.
We're way past that. It looks like an old fishnet that washed ashore.
Yes, I see. You will need to rip out those last few stitches and do them over.
Really? You think? Ugh, can't do this.
Fear not, this is only practice. A clumsy mistake is but a learning experience.
Clumsy. Yeah, because I'm so... Ugh. I'm sorry, Vander. Knitting's not for me. I appreciate you taking the time, but I'm not cut out for this kind of thing.
Is that so? I am surprised to see a knight of Brodia surrender at the first sign of trouble. The warriors of Brodia are famed for their resolve. Perhaps that reputation is misleading.
Uh-huh. Trying to get a rise out of me? Doesn't suit you. Stick to the delicate stuff. You're right, though, about Brodia knights. We never quit, and I'm not about to start.
Perhaps I have been too hard on you. I will be more gentle in my instruction from now on.
No, you've done more than enough. I'll handle the rest on my own. I'm gonna knit so hard it pops your pauldrons. You just stand back and wait to be impressed.
Very well. I eagerly await your results.
Vander, my knitting project's all done.
Finally finished, have you?
It's just a little drawstring pouch, but came out pretty good, didn't it?
Stitches are straight, loops consistent. This is well made. Clearly the result of your hard work and determination. Fantastically done.
I have to say, once I got into a rhythm with it, knitting was really calming, like meditation. I get what you meant now, about how you see this like another kind of training. I'm grateful to you for teaching me, Vander. To show my appreciation, I made you this. Nothing too fancy, just a little something extra I threw together.
Oh, a scarf. The pouch was excellent on its own, but to make this too, and so quickly, I'm impressed.
Brodia knights hate to quit, but we love to learn. Gotta put in the work to be the best.
I see. However, you should know that, good as you are, you will not surpass my skill easily.
I've got a long way to go for that, I know.
In all seriousness, perhaps you and I should train together.
Train?
I will teach you more about knitting, and you will show me some of your combat techniques.
Now you're speaking my language. Yeah, I love that. I'm sure there's a lot we can learn from each other.
Hello, Saphir. Would you like to join me for tea?
Tea? Yeah, no thanks. I'm not the best company for small talk right now. Better find someone else.
You do seem more solemn than usual today.
You noticed that. Invited me anyway. Why?
Well, tea can be quite soothing, you know.
Or maybe you're just nosy. Still, thanks. For noticing, I mean.
What is on your mind exactly?
Nothing important. I Didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Bad dream.
How dreadful.
Feels ridiculous saying it out loud. I'm not a kid anymore. Shouldn't be bothered by nightmares.
Not so. Even the strongest among us can be greatly troubled by them.
Maybe you're right.
Are you sure you wouldn't like me to put on some nice warm tea? It may not drive away your nightmares, but it could ease your mind somewhat.
When you put it like that, I guess I may as well accept your invitation.
As I hoped you would.
Gotta say, Louis, I didn't expect a cup of tea to put me so at ease. Weirdly enough, though, it has.
I'm pleased to hear it. I'd be delighted to make tea for you any time you wish.
Appreciate it.
Another sleepless night?
Yeah, I've got this recurring nightmare, reliving the time my parents and best friend were killed in front of me. Soldiers from Alear attacked the fishing village I grew up in. I was just a kid. It happened decades ago, but I can still see it like it was yesterday. I hoped it would fade as I got older, or get easier to deal with as I got stronger. Neither has panned out. I'm starting to think I'll be stuck with that memory forever.
This cannot be easy for you. I offer my deepest sympathies.
Nice of you to say, considering how awkward I've made your tea time.
Not at all, Saphir. Feel free to talk to me about anything you like. Alas, all I can do in return is listen and pour the tea.
That'll do just fine. Thanks, Louis. Oh, wow. This tea takes me back. Something about the taste, the smell. It's so familiar.
That is because I looked into what sorts of teas are popular around your hometown.
That explains it. But why go to the trouble? It's not like this tea is anything special compared to what you can get in Culinary.
You carry with you painful memories that never fade, though you dearly wish they would. I have seen you struggle with these memories time and time again. Now, I cannot banish them for you. I haven't that sort of power. I suspect that no one does. But lately, I had a thought. Painful memories are not the only ones that can be tenacious.
I see what you're getting at. And you might be onto something. As soon as I tasted this tea, so many memories came rushing back. A field my friend and I raced through. The trees we sat under to talk and trade dreams. My father sailing off to fish. My mother's face while cooking dinner. 3 of us at the table. Happy times. I'd almost forgotten them, but they've always been there, haven't they?
Just so.
Maybe that's what I'll dream tonight. If I do, it'll be thanks to you.
I am glad to have been of service.
Something else to think about, Louis. These happy memories we've made together will stick with me forever, too.
I believe my memories of you will be equally long-lasting, Saphir.
Thank you for sparring with me, Saphir.
No problem. Always a pleasure to find an opponent who can help me work up a sweat.
Glad to hear it, since I barely kept up. I see now why Brodia holds you in such high regard.
Don't be too modest. You're good, and you've got lots of room to grow. Strength, skill, speed. You're full of potential. Keep training. You'll see.
Maybe. But what I really envy is your intensity. The way you press the attack, it's relentless. Do you think I've got the potential to be as ferocious a fighter as you are?
That's...
Saphir?
Sorry. Listen, you'd be better off not modeling your fighting style too much after mine. Ferocity doesn't suit you. You're too kind a person for it. Just be yourself and hang on tight to that kindness. Don't let it go.
I understand, Saphir. Thank you.
Okay, that's enough sparring for today.
Thanks again for indulging me.
There really is such kindness in your eyes. even when you're fighting. It's refreshing. Anyway, thanks for the warm-up. I'm off to do some strength training.
One training session straight to another? Your stamina's amazing.
When training is all you have, you give it all you've got.
What do you mean, training is all you have?
Yeah, okay. I don't usually talk about this, but you deserve an answer. I've always been strong, even as a kid. But back in those days, I had a friend I could never beat. This friend trained hard, and I mean hard, with the goal of becoming the strongest knight ever. One day, Alear attacked my village. My friend was killed. After that, I figured someone should honor her wish to be the strongest. Might as well be me.
I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't help but feel that isn't the only reason you train so hard, though.
What makes you say that?
That ferocity when you fight. It doesn't feel like grief to me. It feels more like vengeance.
I really should get back to training. Muscles will tighten up if I stand around too long. Thanks for letting me talk your ear off, though. I'll see you later.
Saphir, I went too far. I should apologize.
Divine One, I'm sorry for how I reacted to what you said about the way I fight.
Please, don't apologize. It was insensitive of me to pry.
You weren't wrong. I'm still holding on to hatred of Alear, but being the only one who lived, somehow that's even more unforgivable. If my friend had survived the attack instead of me, Rhodia's knights would be stronger for it. I think that's why I go all out in every battle, trying to make up for the loss.
Thank you for confiding in me. Hearing it actually makes me feel a lot better.
How do you mean?
If you trained so hard purely for revenge, I'd have to try to talk you out of it. Even if it leads to strength, that path is too full of grief to follow. But now I see that you push yourself to fulfill the wish of someone you care about. I'm sure your friend appreciates it, but I still don't think it's worth the pain you're carrying. If I were her, I'd just want you to be happy.
You know, I never even considered that. Maybe you're right. We are talking about one of the kindest people I've ever met. But how can you be so sure what she'd think in this situation, Divine One?
It's easy to know that sort of thing when you care about a person. Was that the wrong answer?
No, of course not. It's nice to hear. Thank you, Divine One. It means a lot to me. Nice one. I yield.
Thanks for the match. That's enough training for today, though. Whew, you really wore me out.
You gave it your all today, Divine One. That was some intense stuff. I know I said you had potential, but even I didn't expect you to develop so quickly.
If I have, it's thanks to you. And not just your encouragement. I want to be strong enough to protect you.
Protect me?
I'm not sure I've ever seen you blush before.
No one's ever said anything like that to me before. I have no idea how to respond.
However ferocious you might be, you still have a tender heart. I love that about you. That's why I want you to have the Pact Ring. You're the person I care for most. This ring is a symbol of how precious you are to me. So, what do you say? Sparring partners forever?
Can I really let myself be so happy?
I know it might seem impossible. You've been through so much pain and struggle, but that's exactly why you deserve to have some happiness.
You're right. Thank you. I'll take this ring and your offer happily.
Good, because I'm going to be there for you from now until the end.
That goes both ways. I'll fight with all I have to protect you. And to make you happy.